great dive into multiple genres of film and using these genre type fantasies to avoid the harshness of our present. I think that's excellent. Her constantly, as soon as it gets tough or uncomfortable, we went off into a flight of fancy. The innocence of a classic 50s sitcom, superhero movie, silent film, Western. And there was full commitment to each genre and really great understanding of each genre, um, visually and in the editing, in the cuts, that it just felt like a very smooth transition in and out each time, and I fully bought it. Fully bought it. I loved the imagination and the playfulness behind this piece, which was really rooted in some difficult, hard, gut-wrenching stuff. There's nothing more like hard to fathom than the loss of a loved one, and seeing a family rally around them is really tough stuff. But when you can use your imagination to explore this idea in a new way, it's just very refreshing.
Stylistically, it's not something that you see a lot of. It's very three camera sitcom-esque, and I think the story that you pair with it of this mother and the daughter, and examining that relationship, I think that's really interesting to see too. And I think it really lends favor to this method of storytelling as well. Really fun to watch. I think, like I said, stylistically, I think it's really cohesive. It matches the story. The pacing was great. I think the writing was really fun, really interesting to watch. And it was something that I could definitely see like play on a TV. I think it was really, really fun. I think there's a lot of like mainstream potential for the story. And overall, it was a really well done, enjoyable piece.
I really enjoyed the imaginative scenarios created for Daisy's character in the film. Interesting perspective of the thoughts of her coping with her father's illness. Well written, and a family that's struggling with the crisis that the father is in with humor. I like the line of Daisy's that says, "I miss the boring days." And here we see that she's appreciating the time spent with family where they were stress-free, and she knows that they've got to take her father to the stroke unit. So she's preparing herself for this and is maturing through the process.
I love the daydreams. At first I was like, oh, this is going to be a spoof on these old sitcoms. But no, it was just part of, one style of daydream that she has. And it looked like at the end with the outtakes that it was actually filmed by young students, which I would not have known that throughout. So really well done. Really cool idea. I like that, these two especially with a mom and daughter, because I think a lot of us are in our heads about how we want things to go ideally, but that's not really what's happening. And our fantasy we can never live up to our fantasies, right? So it's hard then to come back into reality and actually communicate to somebody what we're thinking, because we're living in this fantasy that doesn't exist and it's not going to happen. But I love the fact that they come together at the end when the mother takes some of the oxygen. I think it's hilarious. Great job with the performance on that. Was not overdone. Very good. Towing that line of being goofy and going over the top. But you did not go over the top. I love it. It was so realistic and cute and a great way to connect. And I thought that was a great thing to put in the script. Great way for them to finally connect, and the daughter to see a little lighter side of the mother, kind of give her that in to kind of connect a little more on a real level, get out of her head a little bit. I think a lot of people, I do not have kids, but I think somebody who has a teenage daughter can probably relate to, or even a son, how there's always some kind of disconnect and you wish you knew what your kids were thinking. And I love the line when she says, "It's Dr. Butcher." It made me laugh. That was a really great line, by the way. And just really nice casting too. I liked all the choices for the people in this.
for me, I've often wondered what a modern day spin on the sort of older generational comedy would look like if we took, some of that 80s, 90s sort of approach to sitcom and kind of did it today. This is a really interesting take on that. Yeah, it's fun. It's a whole just host of good human interest and emotion, wrapped up in a really tight episode. I would absolutely love to see more of this. I think everyone does a great job with the performances, just keeping in sort of mode of that style.
Doing homages to other films of other genres, other media of other genres. I thought I liked not just because it was that and it was good on the surface, it was funny on the surface, but then it was also motivated by character and revealed stuff about her character and made us care more about her character. So it was still grounded, and then also it did all of that while still telling us emotionally grounded story with real emotional stakes. As far as like with the dad and all of that. So I thought it was it was a S tier concept executed to perfection.
Really funny and humorous. It's a creative approach to what could be a really sad point in time, and I think the imaginative humor of the characters and also the team's choices with the costumes and the scenarios brings an element of humor into what could otherwise be a very boring thing. And I think that whole approach actually makes the ending so much more poignant and sweet. So really, really great creativity in pulling the story together.